Hey guys, this is Miss Cynthia. How are you? I hope you're having a good week so far. Today, our Bible lesson is found in the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verses 14 to 30. And it is about the parable of the talents. So let's remember that a parable is a story that Jesus would tell so we can learn something from it. So Jesus' stories had more than one meaning. For example, this story is about the talents, which was a super large amount of money in Bible times. Today, you can pretty much say a talent is worth $1 million. So a talent in this story can also mean our gifts or our abilities. Something special, something amazing God has given just to you, almost like a superpower. And so the parable starts like this. A man decided to go on a long trip, so he called his servants and asked them to take care of his house, his stuff, and his money. Keep in mind that the man in this story is like God, and the man's servants are God's people, like you and me. And so the man in this story trusted his servants and believed that they would take care of his special and valuable things. And so the man decided to give one of the servants 5 talents of money. So let's say that's about $5 million. If 1 talent is equals $1 million in today's time, then 5 talents equals $5 million in today's time, right? So to another man, he gave 2 talents or $2 million. And to the last servant, he gave 1 talent, which is, the equivalent of $1 million. So he gave each servant a large amount. And so he thought they could handle or according to their ability. So he gave them each the amount that he thought they were able to handle. So our abilities are our special gifts that God gives to us. He made some of us smarter about some things than others. Some of us are good at memorizing. Some of us are better at certain sports. Some of us are better at helping others. Some of us can solve problems better. Some of us are more generous or kinder or are more sensitive to others' feelings than others. And so our ability is something special we have that's different than anyone else. So back to the story. The man left on his trip and the servants each did something with the money that they received. And so the man with the 5 talents went right away and used his money and got 5 more talents for it. And so the man with the 2 talents also used his money wisely and gained 2 more talents. But the man with the 1 talent, guess what he did? He took his talent and he dug a hole and he buried it into the ground to keep his money safe. He didn't even try to do something with it. So, this servant kind of reminds me a bit of kind of like a dog that buries a bone. He had lots of time to do something with his money. He could have bought some seeds and planted a garden and made some money from selling maybe fruit that came out of the garden or the trees, but he didn't do anything. And so after a nice long trip, the master came back and wanted to know what his servants did with the money. So the first man with the 5 talents said, "You trusted me with 5 talents and I made 5 more." So his master smiled and replied, "Great job, good and faithful servant. You are trustworthy with a few things, so I will put you in charge of lots of other things. Come celebrate with me." And so I think it's interesting that the master says that he trusted him with a few things. He gave him $5 million in today's time, and that's a lot of things. But to the master, it was small compared to what he would give and trust him with now that he was able to multiply it. So then the man with 2 talents came and said, "You trusted me with 2 talents and I made 2 more." And so his master smiled and replied, "Great job, good and faithful servant. You are worthy with a few things, so I will put you in charge of lots of other things. Come celebrate with me." And so then the man who received the 1 talent came and told his master, I know you work hard for your money, so I was afraid to lose any of it. And so I decided to bury it and keep it safe. Here's your one talent back." And so the master was not impressed. He said, "You lazy servant. At the very least, you could have taken the money to the bank and you would have at least collected some interest from it." And so he immediately took the talent away from the man and gave it to the first man, who used his money to make more. And so the point that Jesus was trying to make is that if you use your special gifts and abilities, God will give you more to keep doing these things you are good at. And so he will trust you with so much more. If he can trust you with a little, he can trust you with so much more at the end of it if you are faithful in using them, right? And so if you have a chance to do something for God that he gave you special abilities to do, and you don't do it, guess what? You might not get the opportunity to use and share your special gift anymore. So you might lose that one opportunity that you had to use your talents for God. You might not ever get that again. So you have to take advantage of every opportunity that God gives you to serve him with your talents. So God considers you very valuable and trusts you to do something for him using your gifts and your abilities. So if you have a chance to do something and don't do it because you want to watch TV or play a video game or because you just don't want to do anything, God might take that valuable gift and give it to someone who is doing something with their gifts. So we don't want that to happen, right? We want to take every opportunity that God gives us to serve him, right? And to serve his people, to serve our brothers and our sisters, right? And so today, maybe you're not sure what your special abilities are. The way you can probably find out is maybe you can ask your parents or ask your teachers what they think your good gifts are, right? Listen and watch when others compliment you or notice something good about what you're doing. So to you, it might be something small, but to God, it's a very special and very valuable gift that only you can give. So if you keep using it, God will continue to make it bigger and better. Okay? So maybe you're good at playing a sport, or maybe you're a really good friend that loves to listen. Maybe you're a person that gives really good advice, or maybe you're a person that can draw really well, or maybe you're a great storyteller, or maybe you're a really good baker, you know how to make really good cookies, or maybe you're crafty and you know how to make really cool things out of just using paper. Just kind of see what your gifts are. Ask your parents, ask your teachers, your other family members, and listen and pay attention and see how you can grow those gifts that God has given you, okay? And also, try to encourage and compliment others if you notice something that's special about them. Your friends, your teachers, and your parents might forget to do that, but God will put something special in them that you might see, okay? So tell them that they're good at it and remind them that it's a special ability given to them by God, right? Because maybe some people never hear good things from other people. And so if you see your friend is really good at something, then you can let them know and encourage them. And that'll help them want to share more of God, what God has given them. Okay? And so today we're going to focus on the Bible verse, 1 Peter 4:10. And I'm going to read it to you. It says, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." So that means what God has given you, just use it to serve him. Use it to serve others. Be faithful. Okay, trust that God has given you the ability to do and to use his gifts to whatever he's asked you to use them for, okay? And so today, I want you to remember or ask yourself two things, okay? Number one, how can you serve others with your gifts and your talents this week? And I know we've been kind of spending time at home, and we really can't, approach other people around this time, but you can make a phone call, or you can do a video call, or just in your family members at home. Okay? So what gifts do you have? Think about that. What are you really good at? And ask your parents for help. And number 2, how can you serve this week with your gifts and your talents? So ask yourself, what am I really good at? And who can I help with these gifts? Okay? Remember that. And remember our memory verse. 1 Peter 4:10. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. So he gives various gifts to various people. You have a gift, I have a gift, everyone has a gift. We just have to figure out what it is and how we can serve God with it. Okay? So I encourage you to do 2 things this week. Find out what your gift is with the help of your parents and your other family members, and use them to serve someone you know this week. Okay? I love you guys. Have a good week, and I'll see you next Sunday.